Audio 10.1 1.
So this is a Sachertorte. It's probably the most famous food from Austria. As you can see, it's a kind of chocolate cake. It's quite plain, really, and it's got apricot jam in the middle. On the top and sides, it's covered with dark chocolate, which has a nice bitter taste. It's often served with thick cream.
2.
Okay, so this is a tagine. It's a kind of stew. There are several types of tagine. This one is quite a typical one. It's made with pieces of lamb cooked in a thick sauce with onions and spices. The tagine has some honey in it, so it tastes quite sweet. The tagine itself is mild. It doesn't have chilies in it, but it tastes really nice with chili sauce. Here in Morocco, we usually eat tagine with bread.
3.
These are called vegetable spring rolls. They're really popular in Vietnam. There are many different sorts of spring roll. Sometimes the rolls are not cooked, but these ones are fried. They're filled with raw vegetables, fresh herbs, and boiled noodles. You dip them into this sauce to give them extra flavor. The sauce has lime juice in it to make it sour, chili to make it spicy, and some sugar so it's quite sweet. They are served as part of a meal or as a snack.
4.
These are scones. It's a sort of cake, but less sweet than a cake. They're baked in the oven, and the traditional way to eat them here in Britain is to cut them in half and cover them with strawberry or raspberry jam, and then put cream on top of the jam. You can also have savoury scones without sugar. Cheese scones, for example, are quite popular, though my favourite are the sweet ones. You can eat them at room temperature, or you can heat them in the oven. Personally, I like them warm.
Audio 10.2
These are called vegetable spring rolls.
Cover them with strawberry or raspberry jam.
My favourite are the sweet ones.
There are many different sorts of spring roll.
You can eat them at room temperature.
There are several types of tagine.
Audio 10.3
Vegetable. Strawberry. Raspberry. Favourite. Different. Temperature. Several.
Audio 10.4
Millions of years ago, people hunted for food and ate it immediately. But they soon realised they could keep their food for longer if they protected it. So, the world's first food containers were made from animal skins and large leaves. Water was kept in coconut shells and dried vegetable skins. Metal containers, or cans, were invented in 1810 by a French chef called Monsieur Appert. The Emperor Napoleon offered a prize to anyone who could find a way of keeping food safe for soldiers in battle, and that award was won by Appert. His invention preserved food beautifully, but those first cans were made of iron, so they were incredibly heavy. But carrying them wasn't the only problem. Opening them was almost impossible. Some cans even had instructions to open them with a hammer and a knife. Soldiers usually shot them open with their guns. At the beginning of the 1800s, cans were made by hand. By the end of the 1800s, cans were produced by machine and made from a much lighter metal, so they were easier to carry. but the problem of getting into the cans lasted much, much longer. Several can openers were invented, but they were all difficult to use, and you could cut your fingers very badly. The safe modern tin opener, the sort with 2 rolling wheels and a turning key, wasn't invented until 1925. Nowadays, over 18 billion cans are produced every year in the UK alone. If you put all those cans together, end to end, you could make a track to the moon 3 times.
Audio 10.5.
A recent report has found that 1/3 of the world's food ends up in the rubbish bin. Here in the UK, half of the food which is thrown away comes from our homes. Here's Martin Waits from the organisation Taste It, Don't Waste It.
Much of the waste happens because people buy too much food, which they don't have time to cook. The food is just left at the back of the fridge or the cupboard, and then it's forgotten. Another reason for wasting food is that we cook or prepare too much food. We can't eat it all, and it goes in the bin. But the sad thing is people often throw away food that's perfectly safe to eat just because it doesn't look nice or because they're worried it will make them ill.
According to the report, the foods we waste the most are fresh vegetables and salad, drink, fresh fruit, and bread and cakes.
Audio 10.6. 1.
Excuse me, I'm very sorry, but I've just spilled my orange juice. I'm afraid some's gone on the floor, too. Could you possibly bring me a cloth?
Sure, that's no problem.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh no, don't worry. It's not your fault. It happens all the time. Would you like another juice?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
2.
Excuse me, there seems to be a mistake in the bill.
Oh, is there?
You've charged us for 2 coffees and we only ordered 1.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I'll get you another bill.
OK, thanks.
3.
Excuse me, could I have another glass, please? This one's dirty. It's got lipstick on it.
Oh yes, so it has. I do apologise. I'll get you a clean one.
OK, thanks very much.
4.
Excuse me? I've got a bit of a problem. I didn't know that you only accept cash. And I don't have enough on me.
Yes, it does say no credit cards on the door.
Yes, sorry. I didn't see that. Could I... Is there a cash machine near here?
There's one a few minutes down the road.
Would you mind waiting while I go and get some money out?
Not at all.
Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. That's fine.
5.
Excuse me. I'm afraid I can't eat this fish. It smells funny.
What do you mean, sir?
I mean, it smells funny. It doesn't smell fresh.
But it is fresh. It was delivered to the restaurant this morning.
Well, you smell it.
Yes, you're right, sir. It doesn't smell fresh. I'm very sorry about that. I'll bring you another one.
No. I'd like to order something else, please.
Audio 10.7. 1.
Could you possibly bring me a cloth?
2.
Don't worry. It's not your fault.
3.
There seems to be a mistake.
4.
You've charged us for 2 coffees.
5.
I'm terribly sorry.
6.
I do apologise.
7.
Would you mind waiting?
8.
Don't worry about it.
9.
I'm afraid I can't eat this.
10.
I'd like to order something else, please.
Audio 10.8. 1.
My favorite snack food is pão de queijo, which means cheese bread in English. They're baked in the oven and they look like little balls. They're a popular snack and breakfast food in Brazil and Argentina. They're delicious when they're warm.
2.
Churros are my favorite snack. We often eat them for breakfast in Spain. They taste a bit like a donut, but they're long and thin. They're fried in oil and then they're covered in sugar. They're really nice if you dip them into a cup of thick hot chocolate.